Hi, I'm Dr. Kurt Neubig. I'm an associate professor in the School of Biological Sciences, and I teach in the plant biology program. I'm a plant systematist, which means that I study evolutionary biology, especially with plants, focused on things like taxonomy, biogeography, and other natural history aspects that help us understand biodiversity. We're here in the SIU greenhouse, which is a great resource for teaching, research, and just enjoying a beautiful diversity of mostly tropical plants. The plants around here are available for students to use, and me personally, I actually grow plants here in the greenhouse that we use for our research program. When I was young, I knew I was very interested in nature, and I sought a career path that I could study nature. I am really interested in biodiversity and documenting that biodiversity. One of my favorites, which has been a long research interest of mine, the orchid family. So here's a nice example of a greenhouse grown orchid. You can see how beautiful they are. They are the most species-rich group of plant families. They explore incredibly different ecological variation. They're biogeographically interesting. You name it, this family offers it in terms of interest for study. Now we're in the SIU Herbarium, which is an amazing resource for collection data. What we just saw in the greenhouse were living plants. The herbarium stores dead, dried plants. These specimens are very useful for research in terms of what's on the label, where you see when the plants were growing, where they were growing, and at what stage they're at. I also serve as the co-curator of the SIU Herbarium, where we digitize and create herbarium resources for other researchers and scientists to use. As you can see to my right, I have several student workers here working to digitize the SIU Herbarium to create those resources, integrating those samples that we saw in the field, herbarium, and in the greenhouse. We use those samples for sophisticated lab processes, especially focused on DNA. We use DNA with lots of different technologies to get data that we can use to build phylogenetic hypotheses, because my work is focused on evolutionary patterns. We might do PCR-style processes where we amplify specific gene regions, or we might use more sophisticated, more recent technologies that take advantage of sequencing whole genomes. Then we process those at the computer to assemble complex data to develop phylogenetic trees. DNA research, which is at the forefront of biological science today, is an important focus within my lab. And students in my lab gain a lot of experience in working with DNA data. So if you have an appreciation for nature and you want to bridge the gap between that love of nature and science, my lab is a great place to join. I invite you to click on the link in the description below to see more about research that I do. And I'm accepting students at undergraduate and graduate levels. Thank you very much.